Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner, place where we talk about anything and everything that is geek, whether it be TV, comics, movies, or video games. And this show I'm doing right here marks the 40th Geek Corner, aside from a lot of the special shows like Superman Month series and the end of the year and the beginning of the year shows. This is the 40th episode of Mr. J's Geek Corner, and I just can't believe I've been doing it for this long. And it's coming up on a couple months of a 1 year of doing Geek Corner, which is really exciting for me. But I just love doing this show and being able to vent my geekdom to my geeky side to all of y'all out there. I mean, my wife hears it every day. And I'm just happy to share my geeky side with all of y'all as well. And but to the subject at hand here, today's show, I want to discuss something that's been kind of bugging me for a while, and y'all have probably seen this to the nth degree on my other shows, and that is the New 52 and the DC Comics and New 52 and all. But particularly. Y'all pretty much know where I'm going with this. Superman. It ain't. I mean, I don't like the new. I mean, I've vented my disgust in the New 52 so many times it ain't even funny. But particularly, I mean, recently, and it just keeps getting worse. I mean, just lately they've reintroduced. Stephanie Brown, the spoiler, into the New 52, and she looks suspiciously like a cross between her spoiler persona and Batgirl when she was Batgirl. I mean, suit almost looks like Batgirl, like they're trying to merge them both together. But I see it just keeps getting worse. Every time I read something about New 52, they're screwing it up so much, and particularly, you know where I'm going with this, Superman. I mean, the one who keeps getting the worst treatment out of this whole New 52 garbage, this train wreck, is Superman. I mean, I'm going to say it, what helped spark the New 52 and giving him an excuse to turn everything topsy-turvy turned upside down is the whole Superman, the battle of the Superman rights between Warner's DC and the Siegel and Schuster heirs. I mean, particularly the Seagulls, I think it was. And that gave them an excuse to kind of overturn, to kind of destroy Superman, essentially. That's essentially what they've done. And he's just a vague representation of his former self. And I'm going to say, I mean, it's just, like I said, every day I read something that just makes me even angrier. Every day it gives me more ticked off than I've ever seen it before. I mean, he is their flagship character, and all DC can do is just tear him down. He's the most popular character in the world. Some would say Batman, but Superman was the first. You can show a picture of Superman to anybody in the world, doesn't know what it is. You'd have to go in the deepest, darkest part of the cubby hole in the world to not know find someone who didn't know who Superman is. You had to be living under a rock for 75 years to not know who the heck Superman is. I mean, but it leads me to the question, why does DC hate Superman? Why does DC Comics hate the very character that made them DC Comics? I mean, it irks me that they try to throw more promotion and support behind Batman than they do Superman. When the fact is that if it wasn't for Superman, Batman would not exist. I wonder if they realize that. I wonder if they truly realize that without Superman, there wouldn't be a Batman to claim that he's the coolest in all the world just because he's Batman. When the fact, like I said, the fact is Superman's been around way longer, been around at least a year longer than Batman. Superman is what started the superhero genre in the first place. If it was, like I said, if it wasn't for Superman, it wouldn't be a Batman. But they keep doing all these things with Batman to try and entice readers, more and more readers. But every day I keep reading stuff about what they're doing with Superman. It just makes me just do this. I mean, just face palm and just sit there in disgust at how much worse they keep making him. I mean, when it comes to merchandising, I'm gonna say it. I got a little bit. I got one. That's something I just bought recently. This is what you see, but slowly, it's getting to where what you see is the New 52 fraud taking over everything. I mean, they tried to make you it's like they're trying to force this down your throat. The New 52 and the New 52 Superman is becoming such a big, kind of a big flop, that they're trying to force you this distilled, horrible version of Superman down your throat. And like I said, people ain't going for it. And I'll give you a prime example. I was at Walmart recently with my wife shopping, and we were over there in the Valentine's department, over there with the Valentine's stuff. The gifts and gift baskets and stuff. They had one over there they had one that was all Superman stuff. They went over there for kids. They had Superman stuff, and they had one that was full of Batman stuff. And it had stuff in it just like coin banks and notepads and pens and tattoos and stuff like that. But what really made me mad, I know they give them both equal time, is what they're presenting you. When I went over there, the Batman one was the classic Batman as you know him. Tights, trunks, and I said the classic, almost Neil Adams Batman. It's the classic Batman as you know him. Superman looked like this. If you can see that there. Let me bring that back up again. Sorry about that. Look at that. The New 52. That's the Superman that they give kids for Valentine's Day. You look in there, the yo-yos and everything. Every bit of it is New 52. What is with that? And on top of that, look what they're still calling him. He's still the Man of Steel, according to DC. But you see which version it is. The New 52. I mean, why is that the Superman they want to present to people? Why is that the Superman they want to present to people instead of the one that I'm wearing on my shirt right here? A pantheon of strength, power, and bravery and heroism. Why do they want to give somebody an icon that give somebody a character, a stripped down version of a character that really doesn't believe in anything hardly? He just gets into a few fights and kisses all over Wonder Woman. That's all you get. You don't get the hero you deserve. You don't get the hero that everybody knows Superman to be. And I will say, and I was going to do a show about this, but I'll go ahead and throw it in here now. Superman is supposed to stand for truth and justice. What does this Joker stand for? What does he stand for? He stands for petulance and selfishness and his own way. If you're trying to make him look selfless all you want to, he's had his selfish moments. I've not seen any redeemable qualities in this New 52 Superman whatsoever. And that is for some oddball reason, is the Superman they're trying to present people with. A wimp. Another case in point. I was reading online the other day about somebody did a review of the celebrating 75 years of Superman book. It's supposed to be a collection of supposedly his greatest stories ever. It's supposed to be like his greatest stories ever of 75 years of Superman. They said in the beginning the only semblance of the Superman you see is a little bit of the Golden Age, like Action Comics #1. After that, they said it's all downhill from there. I read, they said that instead of presenting you a Superman that's a pantheon of strength, it's a Superman that cries all the time. A super wimp that all he does is cry over everything. Oh, woe is me. I'm not a good hero. I lost my parents. Wham, 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 wham. All this is whine and cry. And then it said on top of that, they've got both of the Death of Superman stories in there. The imaginary one that was so famous back in the day, and the real one that like it was a fantasy story where Luthor killed him. And the real story, the real in continuity story that the New 52 retconned or put in there loosely, whatever. The one to me is one of the great. I say it's the greatest Superman story ever because it was his greatest challenge, and he laid it all on the line to save the world. But still, they put him in there getting killed twice and getting shot by Batman. They got two stories in there where he gets killed, and they got another story in there where he goes crazy and Batman has to shoot him with a kryptonite bullet. Is it just me, or are they sending signals here that they hate Superman? And then there's the one where Superman, who is everybody knows is the champion of truth, justice, and the American way, renounces his citizenship as an American citizen. That stupid story that Goria wrote, The Incident, they said they throw that one in there too. Why? And then of course the very last story in there is a New 52 story. Of course, you got to present that version of it. But I'm sorry, but that's supposed to be a tribute. That's supposed to be a tribute to the greatest hero in comic book history. 300 to 500 pages of him crying and whining and moaning and crying and whining and moaning and getting killed and shot by Batman. And not to mention talking about in that story, in the aforementioned incident story, about saying he ain't really that good of a hero and that what he does isn't really important. Seriously? Somebody that does all these heroic acts, saves millions of lives every day, stops evil from overrunning the world, and that's not important. It's more important to go over there. And in the story, he goes over there amongst a bunch of protesters to try to stop protesting. That's more important than saving lives and protecting the world. It's more important to go over there and stand with a bunch of protesters and get them to stop and get them to try to stop war. Not that it ain't important, but they ain't got no business in a Superman story. You gotta have one. I don't know why they do that. I mean, that's the Superman they present to you as a crying, weepy, blubbering wimp in a cape who not only gets killed 2 times, but gets shot by DC's secretly favorite hero, Superman or Batman. Seriously? That's the part that really gets me. It's like you can almost see DC's hatred of Superman, the character who made them. What did they do? Throw in a story where they get shot by DC's truly favorite superhero, Batman. I'm gonna say it, Batman. Like I said, Batman. He may be all this. He may be like greatest detective, greatest martial arts, all that stuff. They only get you but so far. Being good at problem solving and fighting people with your bare knuckles, no superpowers, and with some high-tech toys and gadgets only gets you but so far. I know you got attitude, and that's something to admire from Batman. But still, Superman is supposed to be the beacon of hope, and he's supposed to be the protector of mankind. And yet all they could do, and he's supposed to look like something strong and powerful and heroic and inspiring. What is this twink that got up there now in a suit of armor? How's that supposed to symbolize power and heroism? It symbolizes somebody that is too weak. It symbolizes somebody that's weak to me. And then recently, I start hearing rumblings that they're going to kill him again in the New 52, possibly. I don't know if they've dispelled those rumors yet, truly, but it sounds like they're about trying to kill him again in the DC universe, in the New 52 this time. Why are they so obsessed with trying to make him look bad? And then I hear recently that they're going to have John Romita come on board with Jeff Johns and start writing Superman here in a little bit. Sounds all right, right? It sounds good until you see the first sample of John Romita's Superman artwork. And here's a sneak preview for you. Here it is. Look at that. Look at the suit. It looks even more like a suit of armor every day. And question, sorry about the phone again. Another question, why in the world does he look like Peter Parker, if you can see his face real good there? Why does he look like Peter Parker? Somebody needs to tell John Romita Jr. he ain't working on Spider-Man anymore. This is Superman. It just irks me how much they have taken a character that is the greatest hero in comics and just every day looking at an excuse to just tear him all to pieces. Tear him down from what he's supposed to be and just run him through the mud. I'm gonna say it. I like what they're doing in Injustice, showing what if Superman turned dark and what if he lost everything and it turned him dark and he started killing villains and took over the world. That's an interesting premise, but still, that's not who Superman really is. And as I said before, in past shows about what they did on Earth 2, right off the bat you present a Superman that reminds you a lot of the true Superman, and you kill him. But just recently in Earth 2, they brought him back, but this time he's not only evil, but he's dark and one of Darkseid's soldiers now. He's a servant of Darkseid, who you haven't seen on Earth 2 yet. But he's evil now too. It's like they want to present every version of Superman they possibly can without letting you see the real version. You get aspects of him here and there, but they don't want to present that to you. The only one they won't present to you is the man of pudding in the armor. I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of seeing DC building up Batman as hard as they can go and tearing down Superman as hard as they can go. I mean, I like what they did in Man of Steel. I'm going to say it. I mean, it shocked me to see him. I'm kind of spoil it for you. It shocked me to see him get killed. See him kill in Man of Steel. But at the same time, you almost could justify it. But that's all everybody can harp on. Like I said about the most present. That's probably the most presentable version of Superman I've seen in the past year, in terms of media of any kind. I mean, you go to anywhere where there's merchandise, you'll see the traditional Superman. But when it comes to the media, comics, TV, video games, movies, the one that reminds you the most about who Superman really is Man of Steel. I mean, his suit looks different, but he's just learning. But as for like comics and everything, they want to present you with something that's like radically different. They want you to, like I said, they want you to see this guy. They don't want you to see him as a hero. I mean, they want you to see him as the hero he's supposed to be. I mean, think about it. In the New 52, it's like somebody said the other day, if they kill him off, it wouldn't have the impact as when they first did, because nobody likes him. In the new in pre-52, the whole world loved him. The whole world admired him. They looked up to him as inspiration, and the world mourned. His friends mourned. His colleagues and teammates and fellow heroes mourned his passing. But in New 52, the world hates him. It doesn't trust him. The government doesn't trust him. The world don't trust him. He don't have any friends to speak of except Jimmy Olsen. And the only love in his life is Wonder Woman. If he gets killed in New 52, who's going to mourn him? Everybody hates him. And that's kind of almost like the way DC wants it. They want to destroy Superman completely and totally. I mean, I'm going to say it again. DC, the New 52 version ain't nothing but a gutted out version of the, it ain't nothing but a gutted out, he ain't nothing but a gutted out version of the classic version anyway. He's stripped down, everything that made him who he is. And another thing, his parents are dead. How'd they go in the morning? Kids are dead. I said he ain't got no parents. I said they've taken everything that is Superman away from him and made him just essentially somebody with a bad attitude in a suit of armor. Or depending on what artist you got, he's either wearing a cloth suit, clothy type armor, or an Iron Man suit. Either way, it shows the kind of disdain and disgust that DC has subvertly got for their flagship character. That is supposed to be their flagship character. Another thing, I just came to mind, another way that DC does not show an open hatred towards Superman. After this Forever Evil thing is over with, they've done announced this. After Forever Evil is over with and they reassembled Justice League, Superman is going to be the leader. Superman is not is he not going to be a leader of the Justice League, he's not even going to be a member of the Justice League anymore. Who may you ask is going to be the leader of the Justice League? Lex Luthor. They have traded up Superman for his foe, for Lex Luthor. You want to talk about, I was like, what are they thinking? Like, they don't want, I was like, it's like they don't want, like they just want to run him through the mud. They want to dirty him up so much, and just to make him look as dirty as the other characters. I mean, they don't act. This is why I despise New 52. Heroes don't act like heroes. Particularly, Superman does not act like Superman. I don't even hardly know what's going on in the Superman books anymore, except for Smallville. And maybe Injustice, because like I said, that's an interesting story. But Smallville, Superman, it comes to close to acting like Superman in that book than in any other book. It's like I read the other day on a guy's blog. He said, this is the Superman I've been wanting to read about for the last couple of years. And that's saying something when you can take something that you could take a TV show that ran for 10 years and then make a comic book out of it, can portray Superman despite the fact he has a different suit. He tweaked his suit a little bit from between the last episode and the comic. The fact that you could tweak his suit, and yet you could take that interpretation of Superman, and he more resembles what Superman is supposed to be and how he's supposed to act than the mainstream hero. That's sad when you think about it. I mean, I said they still don't want you to forget about the classic Superman, but every day you go somewhere and it's almost like they're trying to slowly phase him out for this new 52 phony. It sickens me. It scares me and it sickens me that a whole generation coming up that's going to be exposed to Superman is not going to be exposed to this or this, but that they're going to be exposed. Give me a second. That they're going to be exposed to this. It should frighten you. If there are any parents watching, it should frighten you that this is the Superman that they're presenting to your kids now. A Superman that has no sense of what definite truth and justice is like. A Superman that let his... As a matter of fact, another thing, he let his best friend, and I've heard in the comics, he let his best friend die in the hands of a parasite to keep his secret identity safe. What is with that? A Superman that doesn't even act like Superman. He doesn't act like a hero. He just fights aimlessly. A Superman that lets people die and people get hurt. Like the whole thing I mentioned before about letting Lois Lane, by switching identities to a fireman. Changing his identity, letting his Clark Kent persona die and becoming a fireman. And in doing so, as a fireman, he let Lois Lane get hit by a fire truck, the same fire truck he was in, that was being driven by somebody that suddenly went crazy all of a sudden. So they went, I think he got took over by machines or something, I can't remember. Lets her get hurt to protect his own identity, to prevent from revealing himself to be Superman. Let Lois Lane get seriously injured to the point of almost death. Then instead of using his heat vision as the previous Superman would have done, the real Superman would have done, he takes his thumb and slices her open and performs surgery. He also is a Superman that the government hates. The government hates him. People don't trust him, and lets his friends die at the hands of supervillains to protect his identity, and kills the villain because they touched his girlfriend. Yes, that happened in an issue of Justice League that sparked the whole Trinity War thing. He killed Dr. Light. He killed Dr. Light in a fit of rage because he hurt Wonder Woman. He blasted Wonder Woman. In a fit of rage, he killed him. A Superman that can stare another Superman in the face and give him utter disdain and disrespect. Then being the other one being the Earth 2 Superman, who then effectively knocks him on his rear end with one open palm thrust, and still cusses at the top of his lungs at him. Yeah, that's Superman, all right. Not. Oh, that's the Superman you really want. That's the Superman you really want your kids to like and look up to, right? I mean, that's not Superman. I hate to even say it, but the only thing I saw in the New 52 that even comes close to being Superman again, and I'm not talking about Earth 2 or otherwise, is Ultraman. Because he looks exactly like the classic Superman. Only evil. And to me, that's sad. Excuse me. Like I said, that's the Superman you really want your kid to like and look up to. Is some guy wearing a suit of armor that treats his friends like that and really doesn't even act like a hero half the time, just aimlessly throws fists. That's supposed to be a hero? No. And to me, that's what DC doesn't want. They won't want a superhero that inspires and builds up and gives hope for a better world. They want somebody in a suit of armor. They want some young 25-year-old punk in a suit of armor that throws fists and doesn't really stand for anything. And that's why they hate Superman so much. Superman stands for something, and they don't stand for anything. Just like New 52. They don't stand for anything. They hate heroes. That's why they tear them down like that. The so-called ones that got heroes now don't even really act like the way they used to. And just like with the products, you see the classic one, but that ain't the one they want to present to you. They want you to like the little petulant youth in the suit of armor. They want you to like a universe where 3 teams of heroes fight each other and end up getting the remnants of them, get their butts handed to them by evil duplicates of the Justice League from another Earth. That's what they want. Why do you think a whole month and several months now, the whole main focus of the story has been nothing but villains? Because that's the only ones they basically can relate to is the bad guys. And that's sad when you got a whole month of sub-issues of every title. 4 sub-issues of every title. Just nothing but villains. That's devoted to nothing but every villain in the DC universe. Or the New 52 universe, I'm sorry. And have it be, and of course the main story going on is the villains being the heroes. That's sad. Particularly with Superman, who was nowhere to be seen during the whole Forever Evil mess, and supposedly was stuck inside Firestorm's Matrix, along with the rest of the Justice League. And of course, who survived? Batman. Their favorite hero. Their idol. Batman. A Batman who, by the way, does not really act like the Batman we know. The classic Batman. A Batman that acts like he's on the verge of wanting to pull on a hairline verge of pulling a gun on a villain. I said it. I'm sick and tired of it. And you know who you can thank for all that? The execs at DC Comics. You can thank them for ruining Superman. You can thank them for not only ruining comics, but ruining Superman. The one hero that made comic books, helped to make comic books the medium it is today. Because if it weren't for Superman, comic books would still be funny books. There wouldn't be no superheroes. There wouldn't be no superhero movie genre, video game genre, cartoon genre. It would just be funny books. There would be no heroes. And it would just be, there would be no heroes. I know eventually somebody might would have done it. How do we know that? But I said the very hero that helped make DC, put DC on the map and make them who they are, is essentially throwing away their cash cow. They are essentially destroying the one hero that helped to make them who they are. They can say it's Batman all they want to, but it's really Superman. It's a collaboration, all of it, but the one single one who started out was Superman. In the end, Superman is the most famous hero. Superman is the most globally known. Batman may be right in there with him, but Superman is most globally known. And for some reason, DC despises him. They despise him. Why else do what they've done to him? Why else get his hands dirty and bloody and everything? I said, if you want to know who made this shell of a man, blame DC. Blame Dan Didio. Blame Jeff Johns. Blame Jim Lee. Blame all the ones. Hey, I've heard the guy who wrote Superman, and they accused a guy named Scott. I think his name's Scott Lobdell. I think his name is Lobdell, however you pronounce it. I've heard people say he is the one who helped to ruin Superman. He's the one who ruined Superman. It was a collective thing, starting with Jeff Johns, starting with Dan Didio, Jeff Johns, and Jim Lee. They are the ones who effectively ruined DC. They helped to ruin DC, and they helped to ruin its greatest hero, Superman. And all I have to say is this. They need to get their act together. And it's like I've said before about DC. They need to reverse course and they need to ditch this overt hatred of Superman. They need to ditch this overt hatred of Superman and quit looking like they're slobbering over Batman all the time. I mean, that was another thing. I know that's another thing. If they despise him, if they didn't dislike him so much, how come they always, according to one blogger I've read, how come they always hire people writers who hate Superman to write Superman stories? Makes you think, doesn't it? Why do they hire writers who hate Superman to write stories for him? I don't know why. It's because they hate him. They hate the character. Why? I don't know. Like I said, it's probably because, as I said before, they hate heroes. They hate heroes, and that's why they did this New 52, to take the heroism away from superheroes. And I said, everybody else acts like a hero except Superman. He just acts like somebody you expect a black leather jacket and some sunglasses on out there doing Lord knows what. I said, as I said before, DC needs to reverse course. They need to ditch this. They need to ditch this hatred of Superman, the real Superman, and go back, take DC back away from this New 52, throw away this New 52 mess, and go back to the DC we know, and let them be heroes again. Let Superman be who he is, the pantheon of strength, power, heroism, and goodness. The defender who fights the never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way, and the good and goodness and humanity. Instead of being some little twink in a suit of armor with a bad hairdo, don't know the meaning of the word comb, that doesn't really act like he's whose name he bears. And if DC, I hate to say it, the DC don't do it quick, they're going to bankrupt themselves. I said it before and I say it again, their head, they can fluff up all the numbers they want to, but in reality, I don't think they're doing so hot. You want an honest opinion? I mean, if you're New 52, if it's as good as you say it is, everybody likes it. Everybody likes it so much. Why are you resorting to gimmicks? The sales are as good as you say they are. Why are you resorting to gimmicks? If Superman is as good as you say it is, and not to mention the other line, why are you resorting to gimmicks like 3D motion covers and crossover after crossover after crossover after crossover after crossover? Why are you resorting to gimmicks to sell something? Because most of the time when you're resorting to gimmicks, that's a sign that what you're saying, that this product that you're saying is selling so good, ain't selling so good. And bottom line, as I said before, they just need to take everything back to normal. They need to quit trying to cater to a certain audience and cater to everybody. They need to bring back the old fans with the old universe, and if they want to keep the new universe around, have it be a parallel Earth. By the way, they need to ditch this hatred of Superman and of heroism and go back to the way things were. Go back to the way things were when and everything should be, and you'll see sales pick up like nothing, like nobody's business. But either way, they just need to stop hating the one who made them, who they are. Because I'm gonna say it again: if it wasn't for Superman, there wouldn't be a Batman, there wouldn't be a Green Lantern, there wouldn't be a Wonder Woman, there wouldn't be a Flash. And there wouldn't be a Justice League or Justice Society or Teen Titans or anyone. If it weren't for Superman, there wouldn't be a DC Comics. And if it weren't for Superman, there wouldn't be a Marvel Comics. Because without Superman, the superhero would never been created. And I'm gonna say it, DC would have gone into bankruptcy a long time ago. Because with Superman, they are who they are. And they need to quit biting the hand that feeds, biting the hand that gives them food. You know, quit biting the hand that has made them the fat, that made them the fat cat they are now. They need to quit that. But what do y'all think? Am I just ranting on? Am I just sitting here ranting and raving, or am I wrong or am I right? And as always, drop a comment in the comment box. Let me know what you think. And I guess that's all for this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. I'm just about out of breath. Thank y'all for listening to that rant. It's something I've been wanting to get off my brain, my chest, my heart for a while. I'm just an angry fan, venting the frustrations of everybody that is just as equally angry as he is. And I'll leave y'all with one little extra thing. Bring back the classic Superman. I'm gonna say if y'all agree that DC should bring back the classic Superman, hashtag your comments, whatever comments you leave, as bring back the classic Superman. Tag it as that, and I guess that's it for now. As always, leave a comment in the comment box. If y'all have anything to say about the show, y'all have any ideas for anything you want to hear me talk about on the show, as always, leave a comment in the comment box with your idea. I would love to hear from you. Always looking for fresh new ideas and things to talk about here. I would love to hear your ideas. And as I said, y'all think they need to bring back classic Superman? Drop me a comment and tag it as that. I would love to see how many bring back classic Superman comments I get on this particular show. And I know I ain't said this before, but I'm gonna say it now. Like, subscribe, tell all your friends about my show. I would love to get more viewers and comments, and just I'd love to just spread the word about this. Just spread the word and get the word out about my show, and get more. And just I'd love to hear from you. So like I said, just like and subscribe, and just tell all your friends. And I'll see y'all next time.